places where they can be sold and affect everyone.
Drug trafficking is an illegal movement of drugs through a type of network.
Drug trafficking affects the economy, government, local and federal, and even your school.
Activities like drugs, alcohol, tobacco, and gangs.
What is your job all about?
My job is all about it's about prevention, going out preventing our youth from getting involved in drugs and gangs and bullying, and to also have a healthy mind and a healthy body.
What inspired you to help?
What inspired me to help was when I went off to school, college, and one of my professors was telling us no matter when you leave Tuskegee, no matter what you do in life, go back to your communities and pull up someone that have not been pulled up. And that's so I started working around summer hour, low-income communities, apartments, and low-income communities.
What motivates you to do this job?
What motivates to do this job is see a change in our youth life. When we go out and talk about the dangers and the consequences of drugs and alcohol and tobacco and the risky behaviors they get involved in with gangs.
And where are you located?
We're located on 25 Wood Lake Road in Greenville, South Carolina.
Where do most of the drug problems you have to deal with occur?
Well, early drugs are just about everywhere, no matter where you go or what community you go in. But the problems that the kids that we work with, the drug problems, is mostly your low-income communities, your inner city communities like down Augusta Road, the northern end of Augusta Road, Pleasantburg Drive, Punset Highway, the Washington Street area, where there are low-income apartments and low-income communities.
These people that you met that do drugs, how did they tell you they started, or what made them convince them to do it?
Well, our youth, they don't wake up and say, I'm going to start using drugs. It could be an older sibling in the household. We have worked with some of the children, some of the kids that we have worked with. They say they have smoked marijuana or drink alcohol with their parents, like their mom or their dad. But the majority of them start using drugs with their friends. That's hanging out, having fun, late at night, idle minds, doing nothing, and so they get influenced by a lot of their friends.
And why do you think there is such a large demand for drugs?
Wow, tough question, easy question. The tough part, a lot of people is on drugs because honestly, people don't realize how pharmaceutical manufacturers put out a lot of pain medicine, and now from pain medicine it's going to heroin. A lot of young youth, young people, they use the marijuana because it's recreational. It's just to have something to do. Drinking is starting out as a big thing for our young people, our youth, and they think it's all for fun. But they don't realize sooner or later, if they continue to do it, it's going to be addiction. It's going to be a big addiction for them. In the same way with marijuana, everybody says it's recreation. It's just fun. It's for fun, and it's a plant. God put it here. God put poison ivy here. Will you smoke it?
Who do you think invented the drugs that most people buy, or do you already know?
A lot of your drugs weren't even invented. It was when our Heavenly Father made the heavens and the earth. You look at the poppy fields that's in Vietnam and in Afghanistan. They wasn't invented. These were plants. And you look at the marijuana in Colombia and in Mexico. A lot of these drugs the drugs that we use come from plants. Just like a lot of our medicine come from plants. But when you start looking at your crack cocaine and your crystal meth, you think about it, you have to look at somebody that's pretty smart in the biology field, in the chemistry field, because these are drugs that take a lot of chemicals combined together to make a drug.
Right, so most of the drugs that you see people using are from the Middle East or Asia and Vietnam.
Yes, the heroin, the marijuana, the cocaine, and most all your drugs, they come from these countries. They come through Colombia and Brazil down to El Salvador, down through Mexico and up into the United States. And the United States, is a bigger demand for these drugs. If the demand went so big in the United States, we wouldn't have a drug problem. Period. We're probably the only country that consumes the most of all the drugs that's out there.
Alright, well, I think that's all the questions, so thank you for coming.
Thank you, sir.
Could you please state your name and what company you work for?
My name is Elizabeth Jordan, and I work for the organization Greenville Family Partnership.
And what are your main purposes for this career?
Our main purpose for this career is to provide youth and their families services to make better choices.
What is your job all about?
Our job is all about educating people, preventing them from using drugs in the first place, a little bit of intervention. We step in if maybe somebody has just started using drugs. But our purpose is all about saving one. If we can save just one person, and then just one more, and then just one more, that's what our job's all about. If we save one person, then our job's completely worth it.
And what inspired you to help?
Originally, I was inspired to help because I know a lot of people that have struggled with this. Everybody's faced with it. I struggled with it personally. And so that was why I originally was inspired to help and to get involved with GFP. And then it became more personal to me last year because I lost 2 people to drug use, current and previous drug use, and that was my best friend and my older sister.
And what motivates you to continue to do this job?
What motivates me to continue this job is when I see change in kids that we work with, when I see growth, when I see change in their attitudes, when I see them make good choices and start to be successful and better themselves because we work with them. That's what motivates me.
And where are you located?
We are located at 25 Woods Lake Road, Greenville, South Carolina, 29607, Suite 600.
And where do most of the drug problem caused teens, where are they located for you?
That I work with?
Yeah.
I work in community centers, after school programs, all over Greenville County, and in those communities that surround them, that's where most of the drug problems we deal with are.
And what made the people you meet do drugs, or how did they start?
I think it's probably different for every single person. Like Stacy mentioned earlier, nobody grows up thinking they're going to be a heroin addict. They think, I'm going to be a fireman, a doctor, a lawyer. Nobody wants to be a heroin addict when they grow up, but you grow up and you get peer pressure and you're at a party, you're having fun, you're trying to be cool and press your friends. Peer pressure is a large reason. Maybe they're going through a lot of stress and need something to help them cope. The difference, it's different for everybody.
And why do you think there is such a large demand for drugs?
I think that there is a large demand for drugs just because of the way that the world and our society is going. Our society's lost its mind. And also, people grow up with a sense of entitlement now. We think we're entitled to all these things, and if something goes wrong, we don't necessarily know how to cope with it. And so I think drugs provide people a release because they don't know how to cope.
And who do you think invented the drugs that most people buy?
I'm not sure who invented them, but they all are natural. They all come from plants of some sort. At some time, most of them were actually medicinal. They were used for some sort of medicine, anesthesia, whatever. So I'm not sure who invented them, but they all come from plants. Like cocaine comes from a plant in Colombia, Mexico, weed, poppy plants, heroin, all that kind of stuff.
That is all the questions I have, so
Okay.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
These are the ways and woes of drug trafficking in Greenville and other areas. However, these are not the only places or ways suffering from drug trafficking. To learn more, go to the DA website or go to a local library.